Good morning, Suraj Singh, international professional engineer, chartered engineer, field engineer, office engineer, civil engineer, and talking to you on 13th February 2020 regarding practical engineering, construction engineering, interaction engineering, interactive engineering, coordination engineering, interface engineering, systems engineering in buildings, and all that. This book was published in '96 first time. This book is based on practical practical work which I learned till that year 1996 when there was nothing, no computers, no major input support, no formal quality system, no formal safety system, but whatever was based on experience in those days adopted. Well, I'm just trying to inform how that time, very easygoing time, I started my career in Gulf in 1981, and before that I worked in Delhi for 6 years, which period I don't want to reflect because that was not actual engineering, this was just supervision, and nobody used to supervise works properly. And I learned something with international people, and I feel that if you have to learn, you have to learn yourself. Nobody can teach you. If you're not proactive, if you're not interested, if you're not determined, if you're not dedicated, if you're not devoted, you cannot learn anything. And I also feel that only certificates received from universities do not mean anything until you do work in field. It field First you learn in field and do better, then migrate to designs or somewhere else in office engineering, somewhere office engineering or planning. When I was started career, there was no separate planning, there was no separate departments, only one department was there, and that was construction department or design department. Well, that was different time, but one benefit was in that time, whoever was professional, he had an opportunity to work in all disciplines, all departments, so that he could learn. One could learn planning, one could learn site work or field work, one could learn designs, or one could learn whatever. Means you have to write yourself, conceive yourself, and work yourself. Means your writing skill was good, your drawing skill was good, your calculation skill was good, concept was good, everything was good. Because nothing was supported by computer, there was no computer. There were no computer, only some computer with certain spaces, people that were also DOS based or some based dot, it's not like today we have a lot of support from computer input and from other divisions. But what we are actually doing is not telling world that this support is properly used. And another way that now everybody thinks that one is specialized. This is a misconception actually. No one is specialized. Everything is interactive. You take case of planning engineer, you can take case of safety engineer, quality engineer, construction engineer, design engineer, quantity engineer, contracts engineer, and like that there are so many specializations. But no one can work separately though think they are specialized. Yes, they do same job repeatedly by and every time they do same, but they must have interactive knowledge. If they do, so for example, if quantity engineer doesn't have any building designs knowledge or building a complete coordination knowledge, that person cannot take off quantities correctly, cannot find out why errors are in drawings. And same applies to design engineer. If designer doesn't know what can be done on site, which materials are going to be used, how people would work, what best way for them, design input is also required there, other than codes and other than forces and all that. Same thing applies to safety guy. Safety guy doesn't know what sort of activities will move on site, how can he pre-plan those, how can he advise those, and also quality person. If he doesn't understand quality person doesn't understand site activities and designs and drawing and coordination, that person will also face problems with interface. Simply inspection is not adequate. One should have complete and thorough knowledge of that. Means it's a kind of complex world, a world within world, and there are so many words in the same world. A building means not simple building. A building means a collection of all disciplines, a collection of, can say, design engineer, quantity engineer for budgeting, etc. Then you can say authority, or you can say municipality if it applies for purpose of approvals. Then you can say it is bidding, bidding work. Then you can say it is construction work. Then you can say supervision, safety, and completion, and many more, along with quality, commerce, procurement, all that, technical work. If it's big one, architectural work, so much is there, which a building imports while it is under development and construction stage. That point we must understand. We cannot just simply move. I am civil engineer, I have to confine myself to civil engineering. You cannot do that, because you have to interact yourself with HVAC engineer, electrical engineer, plumbing engineer, safety engineer, quality engineer, quantity engineer, and all others, procurement engineer, so many other, and public and client and procure, and you can say market. It's not one. You have to deal with them. That's why you cannot say that's 100% independence is there. You have to reorient yourself. You learn engineering, you specialize yourself, you get other degrees as well, but you have to think also. If you are getting degrees, these degrees do not go waste into dust basket. These must be used in your world. And if you are not able to use them, there's no meaning of these degrees. You may say, I am doctor, I am master, I am postdoctor, I am fellow, I am this, I am that. If that knowledge is not used by community, by people of world, there is no meaning of that knowledge. That knowledge is waste. If knowledge you learn, your learning is not applied, until it is applied, you know plus and minus, you know inputs, output, you know merits and demerits, where you benefit, where you don't benefit. There is no meaning of that. Your real learning is only when your theory is verified, it's certified, it's corroborated by your experience. And that's called attainment, and that leads to pragmatism based on experience. And that pragmatism called profession. Means it is advanced learning that you get into that. And that's sole purpose that I wanted to chat with you regarding what happens in field based on my experience. I'm not telling you something from experience written by others. I try to myself give certain pen down on my experience, so that others may have a chance to know what I did, so that they can anticipate what they can do, or what they can further reflect their writing. But I'm not sure that that's going to happen, because engineers are too busy on field, in field and designs, that they are tired. They take rest, and everybody is not having that much stamina to find time to write all these experiences, which consumes some, which requires concentration. You must concentrate, you must have time, potential, only then, or you must have determination. It requires some time, some knowledge, some reflection, some creation also. Everybody cannot have, though they can do it. I cannot say they are not compatible, they are not consistent. They are, they have competency, but will misses somewhere. Those people who generally are interested to work in field sites, they are not interested in writing. They are not also interested in reading. They say, okay, pass is okay, fine. I worked well, I got my salary, I got promotion, and that's it. That's the only objective of life. And there are some people who say, no, I have to do something additional also. It's for them. If they want to get more in life, it doesn't matter whether you're getting money of that. I wrote this book not because I wanted money. Money was not my objective, and still I'm not getting anything from that. I spent time on that. just to write something indifferent means I had to use difference of writing. I had a lot of problems with publishers. It took 4 years just to publish this journal. It takes 6 months for such book. But there were so many sketches, handwritten, hand-drawn sketches, so many hand-drawn. It took time, and he was not taking because there were so many sketches are they are not fitting in this camera. He was also not pleased, but he was strapped on because he accepted that script. Well, it doesn't matter still, but our world is drawing. Our world is drawing without which you cannot move. Our X-rays are drawing. Our all tests are drawing. So we have to be very sensitive towards that. Engineers not simply means you are engineer. So engineer means you have to deliver. And if you are unable to deliver, you are not engineer. How you deliver that you have to decide. You have to decide because you are having supports from materials which are not finished one. You are having supports from humans who are not trained one. You are having supports from people who do not know engineering, who do not know specification, who do not know even standards. There are people. You are using all those people who are zero to your requirement, and you have to use them. Even a police constable is trained, even a PN is trained, an office boy is trained, but your people are not trained because there is no such system. Everybody learns on site or by family background. So our job is little different. It means you have to take work from those people who are like means not at all suitable for you, but you have to train them for 1 year, 2 year, only then they can come up. It happens usually. When I met people in Gulf countries, I didn't see them very well trained. Those who trained were trained, but those who were not trained, they were to taught, and we used to teach them. Purpose of performance. It's very hard work actually. First, you use these people, they do nothing, and you train them, they know something, after then they practice, and by that time, they are ready, means they are transferred to the daily job. It's something different, means, and also material. By the time you learn something, it takes time. You have to test material, you have to go through codes, you have to go to specifications, and this is really a problem. For every engineer who is fresh or budding one, have 2 3 years experience. First of all, that level of job is not available. And when he gets some reliable job, some good job, he must have 5 to 10 years experience. And meanwhile, when he has he can get chances of documents reading, specification reading, contract reading, because every new guy cannot be given these documents in any contracting company because of secrecies involved in contracts. So by the time you got management position or project engineer position, you will not get, you can say, access to these documents. Yes, on personal level, you can request your project manager to let me know that's different, but formally you won't get it. So you must read these documents. Documents are contract documents. We call them contract documents. And these documents are, for example, contract itself. You can say conditions of contract with general conditions, or project conditions, or international conditions, or FIDIC, and you can say then sets of drawings, which is architectural drawing, structural drawing, and you can say services drawings and working drawings and job drawings, standard drawings, and you can say then codal requirement, ACI or British code or European code or your own country code, and you may say then you can say quantification, what bill of quantity is there, and further detailing, all that is required. Specifications, project specifications, journal specifications, standard specifications, and method statements, which are very important, which is also like a specification. Then queries, technical queries, engineering queries, site technical engineering queries, and other meetings. Of course, contract knowledge, what sort of contract it bless, what are communication, you have to write coordination, then there's so many other interactions on site. And all these activities cannot be learned in one day. It takes time. It takes years sometimes, and that too you have exposed to that. That there are site plans which are called quality plan, safety plan, and manuals, company manuals, and government specifications or state specifications, your specifications. It keeps on a lot and lot and lot. You cannot say that you can do one thing. When you attain, you finish one project, means you do something, you know something. What you were when you started that project and what you were when you completed that project. All these stages you learn a lot and you think, you feel that you got something additional. That is what's required. And if you can do that, don't worry about your dressing sense, don't worry about your facial makeup, worry about your mind. Your mind grasps a lot there. And once you have habit of working, that habit is such fun that it keeps you pulling and pulling, and you learn more and more. You are used to writing, you are used to drilling, you are used to working, you are used to verifying, you are used to interacting, you are used to coordinating, you are used to interactions. All that is more important. With that criteria keeping in mind, and with that attraction, that knowledge must keep moving. It should not concentrate with me. It should keep moving for its refining and for its further interaction. And also, when you teach someone, or you speak with someone, or you share with someone, you get something. And I like that actually. Means this is a kind of, you may say, operational chatting. You have to chat with people, and moreover, you are a trainer in that case. When you teach others, your juniors, your subordinates, your non-engineering staff, it's very difficult to teach them. For a foreman or supervisor who are not well trained, or their juniors, it's very difficult to train them, but you have to train them. You have to train them, for example, for concreting work, for structural steel work, for waterproofing work, for shuttering work, for steel fixing work, for plastering work, for many other items which require certain degree of training. Cannot be applied directly because that's called technician job or technical job. It's very interesting to teach them because you have to teach them completely raw. You have to teach them in their own language. You cannot use English for everyone. It's really very difficult at sometimes, but one benefit is there. Once you train them, they become expert crew. You will use them perfectly. Then you have to sleep from that point of view because you have a trust that that person can take care. I did for many. I did many like that. Even in for cube taking, for slump taking, I you can say trained some Pakistani guy, and that person was very expert on that, and he used to do it for all mixes. He had complete responsibility of slump, of temperature, of cube molding, taking out, curing, all that. That sort of expertise is required on site. They are not very well educated, but if you teach them correctly and you all warn them, alert them, they can do fine. So it happens, supervision of concrete, crew formation of concrete. You can form crew very well. And that crew or group gang or whatever you call it can work directly. And this happens to all mega project. You will find their concrete crew, you will find their steel fixing crew, you will find their hot fixing crew, you will find them block building crew. All crews are specialized one. That is very important point. That is what is technical engineering, what's field engineering. Field engineering means you have to search yourself where are human resources, and you have to analyze yourself who is best one, who can be trained, and you, of course, you will spend some time on this process. But once you are able to constitute, to form that crew is an asset indirectly because not only that project itself, that crew can be rotated to other projects, and they can say they're specialized that work. So crew formation, human resources training on site itself is a very big job. That job is of course not known to public, but crew are there. You cannot find them very polite language. They cannot go away you wish, but they can do work, they can do job, and that's what's called skill development. They indirect their skills on site, on projects, and there are thousands such people in all activities involved. You'll find them there. Even we are in all this sports surfacing. In our Flooring, we got training on site. We imparted training to French engineers to someone. I talked in the last video about that. It's all that's required. That's very important one. Now, I was talking about in last video about this certain engineer contractor relations and owner contractor relations and owner engineer relations and relations of engineer and contractor to other one, and relations among engineers and safety engineers and quality engineers and contract engineers and planning. All these relations are site made and required. Cannot avoid this in ISO 9001 2015 and before 2008. These are mandatory. It may be ISO 9000 or something else. You have to make these relations. You have to work accordingly because job requires that, project requires that. You cannot avoid that in this age. In 1985, it was different. In 1990, was different. 1995 was different. I was there. I did not find all this. You are all self-safety. I involve myself safety. I involve myself on safety and quality, on quantity, and on planning, and on commercial work, on contract, on bidding, and so forth, or so on and so forth. We used to do that ourselves. I also was happy that time. Of course, we have to spend a lot of time because we're not computerized society. We're not having any big backup, just ordinary calculators. Of course, but we had to work a lot hours after work, first work. It didn't make difficulty for us. But there, you had an opportunity to learn. You had more time in office work and even homework, and we did that, and that made our mind sharp. We have to calculate, we have to plan in mind first, we have to think in mind first. Now everybody rushes for answer. I have seen on the internet, I have seen on various websites where engineers are chatting, they do chatting. They are so nervous, they don't want to, they have no they have no, you can say, patience to do themselves, research themselves. They just want some answer immediately. This is not good practice. You try yourself first, waste some time, try to find some answer self automatically. You get by your attempt to search. That's best one. But I don't understand why they're so fast. They should be ordinary one. You try yourself. If you try yourself, find the happy, and that will find you because you are doing documentation research. So that shall help you. But you want just an answer because you want to solve some problem. You're getting payment. You want to respond to your client. That's all good practice. However, I say work of engineer is very difficult and also very easy if you are interested. If you are not interested, it is difficult. Work of conduct is very, very difficult if you are not interested, and it's very, very easy if you are interested. Again, same thing. But don't forget, these are professional activities, professional disciplines, professional world, you can say. Engineer is a professional world, as well as contractor is more professional world than engineer, because contractor is working practically and also getting satisfied to engineer and to public. So contract, though we consider contract as nothing, I don't say that. Contract is a professional party, professional leaders, you can say, in its world. Without contractor, we cannot do it. Either you have to act yourself as engineer as well as contractor, which is very difficult. Yes, for a small job, you can say, I am builder, I am owner, I do myself. That's something else. But even then, you need support of contractor. From where shall you get workers? From where get some material? You don't know all sources. From shall you get machines, all equipments, etc. Then you will need some support either of relevant agents or someone, means directly or indirectly you will be involved with those pointed or objective parties. Otherwise, you cannot move. Means you are not experienced in those activities, they are experienced in, and that's only difference. And moreover, those who are professional contractors, they understand specifications, they have their own specification, their standards, drawing work, they have their own divisions. So they are different type. One means they are indirectly construction engineers. You may say they are construction engineers, and you are design and supervising engineer as engineer. That can be or project management. You can say you have to design and you have to supervise or superintendent. Whereas contractor person is, you can say, deliverer of your designs. You design, you deliver design, and that person implement it and deliver a finished product. Means that person is a manufacturer, that person is industry to deliver product, and you are a kind of industry to deliver designs and supervision. That can be different definition. So it's not right definition, but activity-based definition is this. So engineer is a person who has to ensure that work is delivered by contractor in required manner according to agreed contract, as contractor is supposed to deliver finished product according to designs and what world requires or fashion requires. This was what I was talking about, and I showed you certain sketches also, which I drew. Yeah, I drew in my career. Those were all site oriented issues. Certain photographs I also, old photographs I showed to you, how sites were handled, how work was done, how these photographs help us, and now I just try to explain that. Also certain sketches of farm work, certain sketches of layouts, and certain sketches how to handle sites, those were there shown. And now before going further, I shall like to show you some more details which are relevant one in field, and you must know them. And those details are practical one collected by myself, but I draw all them. I draw myself on ordinary paper or graph paper, ordinary paper, just to keep them, though it was a difficult work, but difficult or not difficult, you have to do that if you want to achieve something, even for your satisfaction, if not for other satisfaction. And these are now, yesterday I talked for sketches which were sketches 1 to 50. I'll go further on that, and I say this is sketch 51 to 134 in this, and this informative sketches for general knowledge. And this is I'll speak now first before going to sketches. Sketch number 51. Let me see sketch. This is list of sketches. Sketches 51 to 134. Interactive sketches for general knowledge. First and all. So what the sketches are, you can say it starts with 51. It's very small letter. I just give it as aerial plan of imaginary aeroplane shaped hotel or something else. I just taken a first hotel. That's 52 cellar plan, same building, cellar plan, and ground floor, then first floor, aerial plan of an institution building, institution hostel accommodation. This is 55. Then line plan of same, then line plan of single. So I'll first read that and then we'll show further. 51 is aerial plan of an imaginary aeroplane shaped hotel. 52 is cellar plan. 53 is ground floor. 54 is first floor. 55 is aerial plan of an institution hotel accommodation. 56 is line plan of a sketch 55. Then 57 is line plan of single story set offices. 58 is typical details pergola, curbs, guardhouse. 59 is typical details compound, boundary wall, planter beds and 3 pits. 60 is typical details of floor junctions. 61 is typical details of 5 kilogram light bulkhead frame. Typical details of light, bulkhead details, aluminum patio doors, wardrobe. Then 62 is typical details of aluminum framed, aluminum paneled, glazed window. 63 is typical details of timber door frames. Then 64 is ordinary mosque. 65 is ordinary electric substation. 66 is hotel building area plan. Then 67 is cellular parking for sketch. 66 is hotel building area plan. Then line plan it is. Then 68 is ground parking for sketch. Then 69 is first floor line plan. Then 72nd floor to 4th floor line plan. 71 is 5th to 14th floor line plan. Then 75th floor line plan to sketch. And 73 is 16th floor line plan. 74 is 17th floor line plan. And 75 is function ceremony hall. Then 76 is ceremony, some commercial complex area. 77 is cellar line plan for tower building. And 70 is ground floor plan of that. 79 is first floor line plan of that. 80 is sixth floor to 13th floor. Then there are sketches, sections for tower building, elevations. Like it moves to up to 86, which is miscellaneous details for tower. And then 87 is underground water tank. 88 is aerial view of an imaginary hospital. 89 is cellar basement ground floor. 91 is first floor line plan. 92 is outpatient department. 93 is surgical operation. 94 is ward line plan in sketch. 95 is line plane of multi-level car park. This is line plan of multi-level park. 95, 96 is parking area. 97 sections AA, BBCC. 98 is ramp and surrounding details in sketch, and 99 is aerial view of an imaginary commercial complex which shaped 786. Then 100 is line plan of this commercial aerial view, line plan. Then 104 is sections. Then 105 typical details of sketch. Then Phoenician details, then 7 line plan of an ordinary stadium. 107, 108 typical cover, typical details, walls and ceiling plans, aluminum frame. 112 is layout plan of small college. 113 is grid plan. Like that, we can say so many sketches are there ongoing up to here 150. So I will show you sketches because you can read there yourself. So you can say this is a list actually. I just try to show for just a reference. When in confusion, and then this one also I show. I'll go to the 150 to 134 sketches, and I'll show you one bird's eye view. That which is a kind of toy, a kind of aeroplane. You can see this is a shape only. It's not aeroplane. It's just shape of a building. Just imagine there's a car park also, carport. Might show you carport with that. If you can see this way, or you can see that way, whatever you want, or you can see this way as well. No problem. This is a carport, like a plane. Then there you can say here there is one carport or car parking, multi-story one with that, and connecting internal roads, and swimming pool, etc., and a small substation like a generator room or something. This is that one, and you see this is it. It's a plan, basement plan. Seeing that nightclub, etc., was there in basement because it's hotel or maybe something. It's whatever. This the question is what I'm trying to say. This is a cellar plan. Yes, it is cellar plan of same building. Then we go further on that. It will take some time for me to show you these sketches. I'm directly showing from home. I'm not showing from my file of this is another floor, written welcome on floor. This is circular. This is you can say ground. This is ground plan. Now go to the next one, which is first floor. First floor. I will show you first floor here. And it's different residence building here. It's a building of a pistol, like a pistol. You see, it's like a pistol. I'll show you longitudinal also longitudinally. So that it's clear to you. That's this way. Hmm. So this pistol shaped. Just some specifications are written there. Actually, just buildings, multi-story building, and having certain residences, hostel type residences, you will say. And, and if you see, this is its plan. You can see this one also, whichever is better for you can understand that. And that's so it's a bachelor accommodation, you can say like that. Or some specific accommodations. And go further then it's another accommodation here. You like to say it's another kind of accommodation. Or offices, not only accommodation, can be offices as well. We move further. Then. Now I'm going to show certain details of pergola typical and you can say certain curved stone and then it is some building, small guardhouse. This I'm going to show you this one. A small minor details. This is a pergola here. This plan pergola on top, pergola plan, and then elevation section of that pergola. And if you see there in cross, there are certain lines which are showing that an angle. These slots are fixed, these two members are fixed so that sun rays go down and shade. It's completely covered at certain time, while other time these do not. And there's curved stone here. You can see curved stone. And this is a guardhouse, watchman room. It is a watchman room, guardhouse. These details are all practical ones as I learned, and these are drawn simply. Seed soil is written there for fill, and you can see curved stone and block lining and garden there, of course, and then priestess priestess curved stone, 49 Newton, and it is of course guardhouse, and there is some kitchen in between. One is duties room, one is bathroom, and this is here. I'll go next one. Go to next one. And it is about it's about let's say compound wall. This compound wall, and of course it is compound wall, and some certain plants. So certain plants, the sealant, yes, polysulfate sealant is shown, and then compressed filler is also there. This is moment joint in that wall panel, 15-meter long. This is for, and there are some other details you can read that, see that. Yes, compound wall or vertical wall. You want to go further? I'll just do some references. You can say there are floor junctions. I'm going to show you floor junctions. What are floor junctions actually? No carpet floor one side and different floor other side on the slab, and this is carpet floor. There's another terrazzo tile other ways, and then similarly terrazzo tiles on one side and epoxy floor on other side, and same way. This is junctions, is how we fix junctions. So like this is a different type of terrace tiles on the one side and timber floor on the other side. And same way it's timber and carpet. And similarly, this is marble, terrazzo, marble ceramic, and mat well on side. These are called floor. We call them floor junctions. Means two types of floors we are meeting. Where we're meeting two types of floors, two different finishes of floors. That's called floor junction. How to design that? This one means there's no continuation of same flooring. Rubber, PVC. This is you know same way. You can say marble terrazzo and precast terrazzo, precast and floor junctions are the title of this page. Yes, say steps, entry steps. These are called standard details in some drawings, project drawings. You can say standard details for that project, which is these are repeatable. This can be repeated anywhere. And this I'm going to show you a bulkhead means a bulkhead used for skylight and also patio door as well as some other door. Some again this is wardrobe. Three details are there. This is bulkhead and patio door and wall and this wardrobe. I'll show you this detail now. This is a bulkhead, steel frame bulkhead finished with certain sheeting, and that's fixed the below skylight. You see, this is skylight position here, roof slab, and there's a cutout in that. On which resting skylight, which receives light from sun and goes down into air conditioned area, skylight. And this is hanging bulkhead fixed to slab. This is isometric of bulkhead here. This is what is wrong. This is a plan also here. Skylight location of plan. Light frame is written here. And this is skylight plan. This is skylight elevation section. And this is isometric of framing of skylight. And this side is wardrobe details. RCC slab with block walls. Like in a cupboard you can say. And this is a kind of aluminum door framing extrusion type framing is a extruded type of door sections. Extruded type of door sections. I'll go further now onto other details, and that is details of aluminum framed, aluminum panel glazed windows. I'll show that one now. You see my fingers also get because of obstruction, but no problem. What to do? I hold it now. I cannot hold otherwise. This is patio door, aluminum patio. This is details of patio door, PATIO, patio door, and this is a hanger, and this is let's see, this aluminum specialist details, wardrobe details, and this is you can say double lower one. Typical details of aluminum framed, aluminum paneled glazed window. Um, this book is actually meant for sketches and field work. I'll show you now timber door frames, and relevant details for that. Elevation, you can see elevation of door, frame, and all required written. Fixing details are also written here. See, section of framing. I mean, of what we do here is different. You can see this one. The weights are here. Framing. Full, full frame covering wall, and this architrave as well. Though timber is very expensive these days, but this was old. You think what happened in 1986, 85, 89, like that. You can see a gap between wall and frame section. That's subframe, we call that. This is frame where you have six debates, weights, and the subframe behind, in between, in middle of your gap. That is generally plywood. Old used plywood could be. So we go further. I'll show you a plan of a building which was used as a mosque. This was a mihrab of mosque towards location of Makkah, and this was laid on site by Molvi, or what you call that. This was a small mosque. It was a part of school building, and I worked on that. We call Molvi to lay out this direction. And this is all RCC structure. This is a section of that mosque, and this, we just worked on this thoroughly. Evolution area. This is prayer area, and this is cut out in between. There's no floor in that portion. Middle one, balcony type, and then internal balcony. You say, so this is a mosque. I'll go further now. I'm trying to give as much as possible from engineering viewpoint, not from architectural viewpoint. Now it's now miscellaneous details of this is, you can say, mm, now this is switch gear, electrical room, transformer, switch gear, transformer area, cable trenches, all that I'm going to show you now. This is area, transformer area, and this is your transformer room. Plinth is shown there, and cable trench you can see below. An entry, and there's a cutout in roof, and there's a parapet, inclined parapet. This also transformer is placed on that plinth. You can see that base of transformer there, section A, and that up below above slab is inclined parapet, and this is your cable trench. And then we go further down to now this is a bird's eye view of building which can be used for hotel or for hospital or whatever. This was drawn on A4 size paper. You can just imagine how difficult would have been. Manually drawn by pencil. Hotel, I devised for hotel, this one. and certain parameters are written. And you can see on roof itself, certain machines are kept. And see lower terraces, the swimming pools are kept. Two swimming pools and rest vessels. And because below car park, service station, guard room, etc. Just think of, I'm not an architect, I'm not a draftsman, just thinking how to do it on plain paper using pencil and ballpoint pen. And this was done in 92 or 9 or the same time. Just think of, means I wasted too much time on this when I had free time, and I use only scale put up. This me are tearing out these pages. I'll show you now. This is sailor area of this one. Sailor parking, location of car parking layout, basement cellar. If you see these lines and roads, a grid is generally 5 meter of columns. You see this ramp here going. I go further than that. And this is first floor of this where I've seen some entertainment and restaurant, entertainment area and recreation area. This is first floor area. This is, you can say, restaurant here, and this is yeah, this is your entertainment club type area. Club type, it's not actually club. On type, that means go further in that. Then it is second floor, and this is about lounge, swimming pool, and all that. Formula plus the second floor I'm showing you. And go further in that. And this is let me show you again, maybe I'm not confused. So this is same, yes, the same. And I'll see show you. It's now fifth to 14th floor. Fifth to 14th floor. Fifth to 14th floor. So this actually is on prom service. This is a pad by office that time, but this is on paper with written childish work you can see. Here it is here, 15th floor plan, which is showing certain restaurant, kitchen, etc. on roof restaurant. That is restaurant you may say. So further on that, it is 16th floor plan, and this is restaurant covered one. One's open one, plant area and open air, etc. Miscellaneous like use of how to use that one. So let's go further. And it is 17th to 26th floor tower, real top tower. This is top tower. And go to the next one now. Now I'll show you this complete detail of a hall in a hotel. This is the detail of that one. Just a little air condition complicated one. Just see this one. So you must see this one as well. Sorry, let's say. So there's a dancing platform and complete details of ducting. So I am going to another building, which is commercial one, and the cover of this book actually, this is commercial one. It's the cover of same thing as cover of this book. This is a cluster of buildings, small building around service and the small buildings, and this is main one. This building, I'll go to details of this one, details of this one. Oh, this is cellar basement cellar. This is cellar. Same building. And then move further to this other one, and this is ground. And move further down. This is commercial guy. This is first to fifth floor. First to fifth floor. Then hold on, what do? And this next one is sixth to 13th floor. And this is this you can see this. Now I'll move to other one that is first to fifth floor is there. Then this is over. So I'll go to the next page. This is some elevations, I think, elevations or sections. Yes, this is section. First of all, let me give you section. Section. Section AA. You can see raft in section as well as structural cuts. This is actually structural piling is shown below. You can see that. And this side is glazing also shown. A little bit proportion is elevation. And now elevation, you see elevation, one of this elevation A, you will see glasses and other areas of this tower as well as lower tower. And then I'm going to further the elevation. I'm going to, this is B, elevation B. And then further to elevation C. So it's glazing and other areas is showing. And then we are going to further one. This is elevation D, means all four sides are for elevations. This is good building, it's big building actually. This it was actually done in Iraq sometime, Baghdad, long back in 81, 80, 79, 78. That time this was constructed. I didn't construct this fully, a part of this, but it was very big project. And then we'll go to details of miscellaneous details regarding park plan of fascia and same building. This is miscellaneous details, elevations here. These elevations are here for which plan is there. This is fascia plan. You can see this external RCC four walls are shown, and this is in continuation. And then there is internal this park plan, tower park plans. These are details here. Then to go further over there. This is underground water tank. I'm going to show you this tank, RCC tank. This is actually underground, below ground water tank. You see the plan of tank and this RCC tank. Waterproofing outside, bitumen is used there, polysulfide cement, etc. Bitumen protection is there, plaster is there, all that is involved. And roof cover of this tank. And going to another building, and this is a different type of building. This is here, you can see this. You may say it is swastika or something. Yes, it is that, but shape is that. This is a kind of hospital. Oh, yes, I'm just showing hospital. It can be something which I have taken at the hospital in this building. You see on the roof itself, terrace will find stair cover and many small cube size, and that is chillers or something, and it's ground grounds and pergolas and guard houses and service buildings, etc. And car parking as well. You may take this also doing later. And then we go to its detailing. It's a basement, It's basement here. This is basement, cellar, car parking area. Then we go to ground floor. Ground floor casualties, etc. shown. Emergency areas. Ground floor. Further go down. This is the first floor plan. First floor. This is mortuary here and some other areas are there. Go to then research etc. Go to the typical outpatient department. 4 floors now, typical 4 floors there. OPD typical. This gynecology and various other departments are there. We go to surgical operation theaters. This is a surgical operation theaters. OT, OT, OT. Go down to ward, wards, 10 floors, ward area. Typical design on all swastik ends. And it is, I'm showing you, this is a car parking layout of a building. It's not hospital, some others. This is a building, car park, you may say carport, you may call it carport. So notice you can see this carport. There we go. Further details of this. And symmetrical plan. This is it's a framing of car park and locations of car park or circulation area. Various sections of this required because this is here. We go further then. Also section also of this car park, some sections. And then we go further then we'll find another ramp and surroundings of that. Ramps and surrounding car park. Now there's another one, small complex. Small one. 786 shape. Car parking as well. And the details of this, we'll find this one. I go further then. I'll say another detail of this is on next page. This is another building. Another building. This is cruciform shape. So office type or commercial type. And this details are here. High rise. Further. Now I'm going to show you some gymnasium. Gymnasium. Sports complex. Sports gymnasium, small, a part of some training unit of army. Sports hall. And moving on further towards detailing. This is shed, stadium shed, and indoor stadium actually. This is not external stadium, so stadium, a small building for staff. In middle there is RCC, and top is structural framing, structural one. It was a conversion from existing building to stadium. And go to some detailing of this building. Typical detailing of foundations. Combined foundations mean combination of RCC and structural frame column extension resting on same footing having RCC column and structural steel column. Combination of two. This was sections. This is the same footing with sections of this one and alright. Various miscellaneous details. This building will go to further more details of same, and it says certain steps, certain sections, certain rooms, and one splash code is also there inside timber flooring, and this is same with many details of flooring and others. And we'll go to further details of this. Further details on this building. It's a portion of stadium and unsupport. We'll go further then. There's further one, this stadium, Kabaddi stadium, same one. Seating, and there's also seating here. And this is covered stadium. This is here. Yeah. this area section of stadium. Let's go further on that. Elk shoes and changing room, etc., lockers, and some other sections which are going to typical details. So I must say, changing room here, lockers locations, person changing room, lockers are required also. Then complete details of reception counter, etc. And go then to timber framing, timber frame backing. And further to this is your aluminum door. This is aluminum door, aluminum window. Sorry, yeah, aluminum. Okay, glazing and details. Now further on that, that is now I'm going to say educational building like a education complex. It's maybe university, it's maybe college, it's maybe something. We have various locations or layouts for information only. Let me say this way, say this way, say this way. Various buildings have shown this. Not necessary that you read this. Okay, then I'll take you to this further details. This is further compartments of this grid plan. A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, etc. done. Grid plan. This is given grid plan. We have to move to ground floor layout of this. No further thing. The first floor of this building. It's a group of buildings. Group of buildings it is. This is assembly hall. This is assembly hall, and this is workshop. There's a classroom to the side or something like that. Right. We'll move further to roof layout of this. So move further over there. This is a foundation and section of the building. You can see RCC structure, roofing, and this is footing, waterproofing, footing. And there is again another one. Further over there. Then there is detail of ceiling with air gap. The ceiling details. Suspended ceiling. Suspended ceiling. To other details of flooring and the same sections of classrooms. You can see the same roof flap. Roofing details here. Upside down roof. You can see this details of roofing here. RCC on that is complete roofing, including aluminum skirting and sealants. The building section here. You can see first ground floor and then first floor. RCC column, RCC fascia, and roofing. And then further, and this is can say I change this one over. I'll go to the next one. And this is shooting range, firing range. Let me say, firing range, shooting range, 330 meters long. This is firing main hall of firing range. This is outside here. You can see first like this, like we see orientation like this, just for clear construct. It's continuation. You see this one, first one, this is continuation. This one, and then this one in continuation, and then this one continuation. So this is shooting range 330 meters long. And these are 3 underground target pits, target houses, and then connection of that. And this is in continuation, 5 point first grade on ground. And this is continuation of the other one, and then further continuation of the other one. So here, this is a bullet trap chamber. This is target pit here, target pit, and it's complete grade slope. Then also here, same, and the baffle walls in between, and main walls are here. See 2 thick lines. These are I'll show you details if I all see. I have details of this. Yes, I must have. And that is, you see, complete details. Now I'll show you something here. I'll see how can I show you. I must have something. I think I need your selection. Yeah, it is not there. Yeah, it's here. You see this? This is what it's about. This is layout of this. Yes, length, longitudinal section, outdoor range, and this is your bullet trap here. Bullet trap, 330 meters located from start one, building one. This is bits are shown, and direction of bullet is shown. Then bullet trap chamber is shown here. You see, this is a very long, 330 meters long shooting range, firing range. This one building start one, which controls at and end this bullet trap chamber. In between is 330 long distance on both sides RCC walls, and there are gantries in between, three gantries to control. How to control them? Then there are corwell on just these gantries, and the bullet routes below. There are target pits below, three pits, and the sand fill in trap chamber. So you can see details of target pit. It's details of underground. This is one. You can see steps are there. Says let firing range, shooting range. Now go further then. I'll show you further details one more page, and this is very important. I'll show you gantry and armor plate, and also sections of both. Now this is a cross section of this gantry. This is structural steel gantry, and it's resting on corbel. Here, this is corbel, RCC corbel, and then this baffle wall here, RCC wall. You can see that one with foundation shown, and also there are other details. These are armored plate fixed on that gantry, and this is entrance down section is shown. So this is another detail of same bullet factory firing and shooting range. And more further, and this is now a small standby powerhouse. I will show you. Diesel generator powerhouse. Diesel generator powerhouse. This was located in Libya, Sirte town. This is section of that. You see alternator base is there and generator base is there. Mass foundations, these are massive blocks. And there is gantry on that, crab is moving on that. And this is plan of that building. This is 4 generators shown. You can see this way. This 4 generators, 2500 kVA. And there's alternator on this side, and you can see this alternator. This is your generator, and this is your alternator. And these are all, no, I need to say, these are all framing of buildings, structural framing on foundations, and these are oil tanks here, fuel oil tanks, and this we can say, various other equipment locations, the sections of building. fuel tank and layout of 4 into 25 kVA diesel, 25 kVA diesel power station. This is radiator foundation unit. Front. This is fuel. This is power station. Further, the pages are sticking to each other. I'll get here. This is details of this foundation. Details of this foundation. You see, this is alternator. Pockets are shown, voids are shown, epoxy later. This is generator foundation, they are also shown, and there's in between cable trench. And this foundation is not easy, this is very difficult foundation. And you can see the isolation between this foundation, the raft of this foundation. This isolation, alternator is connected to RCC, but this generator is not connected to RCC. There is an isolation gap. Steel frame is there and complete details of the polystyrene is there, and about that the generator is not resting directly on footing on raft, but on that isolation. So just to absorb shocks, and this is detailing of that work, neoprene, etc. Neoprene was in. This is French design. This was designed by a French company. And personal attention, I use personal attention to carry out this job. This combined alternator and generator footing, foundation base, and these are all pockets shown for bolts. This is, you can say, trench, where isolation, polyethylene membrane, neoprene, polystyrene, all are shown here. You must realize means how difficult this works sometimes. Means you have to know each and every detail. It's not simply structure. It's complete one. See, details are given here, what we did on that. Then I'll show you further the framing we did on that. How is the framing of the isolation? This is a framing. Mild steel frame for the isolation. This was placed on, you can say, above raft, and there was, if you can see, this is the raft. This is the tail. Mild steel plate is shown. Below that, the structure is shown, isolation structure, and there's a neoprene, still supported neoprene plates, and then polystyrene in between, and on that is you have this dark color. And MS flats are there for connection. You see this? This is the details of that. As you see this, I'll show you small things also as well. Small footings for this building. This is for structural basis. So neoprene on steel plates, and then polystyrene in between, and on that there is a membrane, and on that is your steel framing. Now I will give you another detail of this. This is regarding gantry and car for Yes, it's for same station, power station. In that shed which I showed to you, this arrangement for well electrically operated one. This is the here, and this is your fuel oil tank. And we'll move further. Now I'll show you another building, which is different one. Do you know what it is? I think it's this way. I think it's this way. Both ways. This is a trushel shaped building. Trushel and swastik, small one. You can say this is says roof of that. The ground is a multi-story or a tank as well. A car park area here. I call it Trishul shaped building, and you'll see details of this one. Now, I'll show you some more details about this portion. Do you know what is this? Now I'll tell you what is this. What is this? Do you know what is this? What is this? What is this? What is this? What I would say it is actually swimming pool. I'm showing you a swimming pool. I think what's the direction of this? Yes, swimming pool. I'll give you these details. This is the structure of the swimming pool. Balance tank is here. RCC base continuation is there. This is swimming pool. Because this cannot come on one page, so it's continuous. And this is, you can say, the hand of the swimming pool. Balance tank deep and shallow end. And this is section. Pool, shelf, and balance tank and PVC water stopper and connections. You can see this is connection, T connection, and this is above. One is vertical connection, one is horizontal junction, vertical. One is for continuation of this, other one is for other one, and this is water swimming pool. We move further over there. There's one more detail which is very important from practical point of view that I'll show you, then I'll talk to something else because I'll show you because there's some details, technical details there are, and these are a few pages I'm going to show you. This is a very complicated one, but let's just start with this one, very elementary. This elementary one. These are number one facility sketches. This is sketches 135 to 151. Construction site details for information first and round. And this is all. You can see this are, I'll speak to you. Now I'll announce that these are here. You may not be able to read, but I'll read for you the problem. And this is constructional details in general. General rebars, shape used in buildings, and typical general reinforcement provisions and simple structures of building from practical viewpoint, which is imaginary. Typical reinforcement arrangement for 150 to 200 mm RCC wall. Typical reinforcement arrangement for wall with opening with slab reinforcement, imaginary. Typical steel reinforcement arrangement for a wall fascia with windows on both ends with RC column and upper portion for thermal insulation. And typical reinforcement arrangement for a fascia between any two columns. Then typical reinforcement arrangement in a square column with imaginary inclusion of beam. And typical reinforcement details in plus-shaped column with imaginary inclusion of beams. Then typical reinforcement details of for a proposed pentagonal column with imaginary beams and typical details arrangement of rebar in hexagonal columns and in octagonal columns and stanchions and combined footings and common flush with footing edge and typical rebar. So lift wall. I'll show you all this one by one. Now this is foundation. This is typical detail I'm showing you. It's just I actually announced. You can see this. I have written classes for the class. This is just these sketches, how these are done, and what actually these are. That is important. You see this foundation. You see how columns resting on that. Finished ground level and how steel and how waterproofing is done. Protection, actually, I call it. I don't call it waterproofing because we have to protect concrete surface from impact of soil chemicals. That is actually required. We call it waterproofing, no problem. And there's a blinding concrete. There's a waterproofing wall. Of course, it's not no problem. You call waterproofing stop columns there. And there's a roofing detail here. And there's a some other detail wall ties, cavity walls. Cavity wall, skin outside, skin inside, and then cavity all the polyester and then between insulation purpose and wall tiles, and this is wall cavities up there. And this roofing, you can say inverted system, which is so we call it RCC slab, or that is fill. You can say this is mortar fill, mortar soft fill on that's in grade is 1.5, 1.25, 1.5% of length. Then there's you can say waterproofing, roof proofing treatment you can say, and then it's polysulfide insulation at end and tiling on this waterproofing tiling, roof tiles, or also you can say if it's accessible. If it's not accessible, you may say this is you can say gravel fill, and this is your you can say you see this moment joint, RC slab, voltage sheet, and this is waterproofing here and roofing as I just told you, roofing, tiling, etc. And this is your foundation, detail of foundation here as usual. And this is so these are miscellaneous details for purpose of information. And now I move to fabrication of bars. This means I used to do detailing by using 4466 that time, BS4466, which is now 8666, and their shape codes. You use that or you can use customized one. It's up to you. No bar of any kind. It's your efficiency how you do that. But details must be clear to user, to engineer on site. That's what's required. How you do that's your headache. And you will see isometric of I'll show you something now which is imaginary, those are drawable. Just for information purpose. What is this? You see the foundation here. Foundation here. And then it's imaginary detail of something, some bars. You can see this. Imaginary, how to arrange bars. Typical general beam, general rebars, general reinforcement provisions in simple structure of a building from practical viewpoint. I will further some wall I'll show you was a wall actually here. There's two columns. When I say this wall detail. Okay. Reinforcement detail of wall, and then I'll show you next one, which is including fascia. It's very complicated one. Manually drawn, imagine this was drawn manually. And then this was manually, and this is written typical reinforcement detail of a wall with opening and also added proposed slab reinforcement arrangement. Again, I show you. It's very complex one. So you can't even think now about trying it manually because computers are available now. And computers even won't give this much. It's under there. Entitled to this is written typical steel reinforcement arrangement for a wall fascia provided with window at both ends with RC column and upper portion for thermal insulation. Again, this is difficult, so let us respect to this. I'll move further. This is now fascia between two columns. This is another one. Columns are the castle's fascia detail. Then I'll go to the one. This is typical arrangement of a square column. Okay, let's move further. Maybe I'm not doing what you want. This is again. So it's also column but cut but cross shape. I'll move to the next one, and this is 5 sides of pentagon shape. Next one I go. This is sorry. This is hexagonal shape. Then I move further. That is something else. It's foundation of a structural steel column. As I showed to you in that power station. This is base of extension, or you can say must type thing. Then we'll go to combined footing. Combined footing. This is one column and this other column. What columns are these? This is combined footing. And say then combined footing here. We'll go further to next one. This is also a big sketch. Lift well. That is the left. Lift well, you see, a walling of lift. It's one story I show you, walling of lift. We'll go to stairs. Yes, this way, yes. It's dim one because of some print problem. I'll take you to now. Well, the structural work is over. After that, I'll give you many more sketches that's in different way. Now, this is what I explained to you. Now I'll go back to my previous one. Yeah, I was talking to you yesterday about there are so many sketches I'll show you later on, which are based on architectural arrangements. This is what I displayed to you from engineering viewpoint, construction engineering viewpoint, that such sketches you will meet and you may have to draw yourself if you work in design office, because design is not only structural, one design also refers to architectural and structural combination, and as a civil person you are required to do that. Now these technical details I showed, of course these are very few, there will be many more, but purpose was only to apprise you guys about that. Now, as I coming back to past one, talk of contract. Contracts are necessary. Without contracts, you cannot move. That is only imagination. Yes, if you are very smart, you can do that yourself, no problem. You have to work hard, too hard, intelligently, physically, commercially, diplomatically, and maybe you get too much stress on your mind. Keeping abreast all this problem, engineer has to work as an engineer, contractor has to work as a contractor. Contractor doesn't mean a cheat, first of all. Remember, do not take this term in a different way. Contractor is equally responsible for job as engineer is. Forget what is considered in our country. I'm not concerned with that. I am concerned globally in international standards. Contractor is a professional, construction contractor or design contractor. You are also a contractor when you design, in fact. Don't forget that. You may be management contractor or you may call it management engineer, but in fact you pay some contract. So whoever takes some contract is called contractor. Contract in construction are varying. Construction contract, design, build, or you may say maintenance only. There are various types. What are types of, they are just for your information. I should like to share, that is, you may say, let me put my glass here, I will find a problem all the time. Now, let us say package deal contract, then bills of quantity contract, schedule of rates contract, lump sum contract, itemized lump sum contract, bills of quantity and percentage rate contract, cost plus percentage contract, cost plus fee contract, labor rate contract, target contract, construction by direct labor contract, subcontract. Various types, you can see this knowledge of different types of contracts. Let's say package deal contract. What it says: contract between employer and contractor or parties to covers job of designing and construction of work, and during tendering, contractor has to take into consideration all preliminary designs required as that shall form part of bid or tender and should meet requirement of employer. Only very reputed contractors should be entrusted to work on package deal. Since big and reputed contractors engage their well-qualified and design experienced, the tutorial, the engineers, the pragmatic organized staff, and should contractor be paid properly, a qualitative service in designing and execution can be obtained. Two specialists, design specialist and construction specialist, work on one platform, right? Who are they? Design specialist and construction specialist work on same platform, leading to fruitful combination of skills, but a degree of mistrust can arise as employer may doubt genuinity of contractor in carrying out works to standards to make savings. To avoid this, employer should engage a supervising consultant for additional expenses vested with full authorities as engineer possesses enjoys. It's up to employer. Or you may say third party, in that case you may say that this is a fashion these days. Third party independent auditor. Tendering for a job in this type of system is very tedious, while invitation of tenders or bids by employer is easy. Only difficulty in this type appears when all bids or tenders are received with different project designs and not necessarily lowest quoted bid offers best design. Design may appear best to employer, but it exceeds budget. So to meet all these possibilities, employer need services of an independent advising engineer all time in case employer does not possess this skill. Bidder too shall hesitate to venture. So this we are saying, but actually this is rare. Yes, you can say promoter. builder, so-called builder in our country, actually is promoter. That you can say is like self, it's like on itself. It doesn't grant tender, it does itself. Activity of design and activity of construction, including with itself or procuring with itself departments of design, departments of construction, supervisions, execution, all themselves. So in fact, it can be called design and build, or it cannot be called design and build, because after all, commercial is commercial. Every company, every organization is interested in making money, not in doing service to people. So they say only. Okay. Now, then we'll move to bills of quantity contract. Let me read it first and talk of that. In this type of contract, tenderer offers a job based on sum reached by pricing individual item mentioned in bill of quantity be occur. Calculated from drawings. Measurement shall be accurate as far as possible. Contractor is not bound to execute work exactly to details in drawings in case some item is not included in bills of quantity, which, if necessary, shall be paid extra. This category permits variation in quantity as payment to contractor is made based on works measured item-wise on site. In case work done on site amounts same as given bill of quantities, employer shall pay same price as standard sum or approved sum. Alterations are permitted as some rates of payments and chances of disputes between contractor and employer are rare. Tender can be closed, compared, item-wise, properly drafted, and contract based on bills of quantities and fixed item price can prove best as it provides opportunity for alterations, quantity variations to some extent, and leaves way open to engineer to exercise responsibly properly. Now let's go to schedule of rate contract. Schedule of rate contract. Contract where item cannot be measured from drawings and actual quantity not anticipated. A schedule exhibiting item but not quantity, and more items may be included for temporary works due to contingent conditions and uncertainties prevailing. Quantities may be given for guidance only. There should be, there should be no guarantee that all items provided in schedule shall be carried out. Contractor should consider all items provided in schedule as provisional only. Rate should be quoted in such a manner that a great degree of variation of quantities is acceptable. Contractor, if sensible, shall quote rate of all items in schedule, considering overheads and other expenses included in every item, instead of spreading all over as in case of fixed rate POQ case. Lump sum contract. Lump sum contract, this is actually biggest domain these days, lump sum contract. Actually, there are two lump sums. Now I'm telling you lump sum, I'll tell you itemized lump sum. Lump sum contract wherein a fixed price is tendered or offered for completely doing a work based on drawings, specifications, and conditions, site conditions. A quantitative work is to be done prior to inviting bids. Engineer may provide a BOQ or bill of quantity for purpose of assisting bidder to appraise items to be carried out, but not as a guarantee to job quantity. Should there be any number of items, should there be certain number of items not included in POQ, contract is supposed to carry out all. This category is useful where no alteration in the works are expected and no great risk attached and job is small. Only advantage is no measurements are required for making payments to contractor. This is lump sum contract means you have given me a price, I accept that price, whatever conditions are there in my tender documents, whatever condition is there, I am not responsible for quantity, what you agreed for, you check yourself. If you find something else, you consider that variation also. I am demanding that you should work for me according to specifications, according to drawings I have given to you, according to all documents I have given to you, and I don't care for quantities. You take care of that. This is my drawing, this is my detail, and this is my specification. You do this job in this time period. This is what is there. Your quantity is for your purpose. You calculate, don't calculate, the problem is not my problem. Then come to, and that price is also not variable, but you cannot change the price until both agree. If there is some addition of quantity other than specifications and drawings. If it is same quantity, maybe two times different, drawings the same, specifications same, scope is same, no change. Yes, if something is omitted from that detail, so there are 5 buildings in that contract, we omit one. Or you say, no, okay, don't worry, we don't construct whole building, we construct half building. Like that. If there is some specific change, then there should be change of price. Otherwise, quantity is your responsibility. Specification, you have to work like this, and this is your detail of architecture. You combine other details are your responsibility. So that is fixed one, but itemized list, itemized fixed what I'm going to talk to you, and that's more important than this one. Itemized lump sum. Generally, this I learned from one quantity engineer surveyor of British. He was from RI's member of Royal Institute of Quantity Surveyors, RIQS. He used to talk like this: quantify, itemized lump sum. I was too young that time. I didn't know about this. Maybe I just passed engineering a few years experience, and I was impressed by you used to say the quantity guy. Well, I don't know why we don't have such quantity surveys here. Why don't such chartered engineers here? You can talk of law, you can talk of contract, you can talk something. Means there's some kind of deficiency existing in our system. Even after passing degrees, we don't take interest in this. We say, oh, it's not my job. Quantity is, yes, quantity is my job, but I'm not quantity sir, I'm engineer. You employ someone, some diploma holder, some who can do quantification. But you forget that diploma holder is not quantification, it's a server, the support. You have to do quantity yourself, you have to analyze everything yourself. This is your engineer's job. People do not understand this. What to do? Can't help it. They think only design is engineer. Design is structural engineer. Quantification, items, specifications, all come under purview of engineer. Civil engineer is not a small activity. It's big one, believe me. It kills your mind, it digests your mind, it eats your mind, and that is what is required. Allow eating of your mind. Someone should eat your mind. So I was impressed with that one, and I tried to learn more. So let me read first. I'll talk later on. It says, itemized lump sum is a contract wherein fixed price is bid tender. for complete construction of job. It may be construction or design both also. All right. So we are taking only construction this way. Construction job based upon drawings, specifications, design, whatever particular items as well. All bills of quantities are enclosed in documents, including preambles, and tenderer is supposed to fill prices in all given items. To reach tender sum, tenderer has to check and ascertain that bills of quantities cover all items according to drawings and specifications. And if found something missing, should inform engineer or include that price of those items somewhere else in bill. Bidder or tenderer has to make sure for all aspects of architectural, structural, and build. I'm sorry, architectural, structural, and allied building and other services and conditions specified in scope of work. Advantage in this category is that for every item a price is quoted by tenderer, and if not quoted, it is understood formally that same price has been included in some other item. You cannot avoid that. Either include or it is automatically included. All calculations are checked during scrutiny of bid, and in case of any arithmetic error, in case of whatever arithmetic error, if discovered, adjustment is done and bidder or tenderer is informed accordingly. Now, in case amount of total sum comes more than tendered amount, remember what I'm saying, try to understand. In case total amount of bid comes more than bid amount, total amount of 10, sorry again, in case amount of total sum from BOQ, I'm talking of BOQ, amount of total sum comes more than tendered sum, tenderer is asked whether he shall still be ready to do job, or he is still ready to do job. And on other hand, a tender sum is corrected to calculated lower value, both ways. Understand what I'm saying? If your actual calculation on final sum there's some error, you quoted all this and your sum is lower in your tender, but actually it is higher if you calculate all. You have to agree that you will do this at whatever checked price, even if you have to spend more, but this is price. That's what is meaning is. You will not be paid extra if actually it is more than tendered sum. Whereas if it is lower, if your calculations are lower, you are working, you're checking all, and you have to say, no, your sum is wrong. Your sum is wrong. Then you have to do that accordingly. So let me say again, in case of amount of total sum comes more than bid sum, tenderer is asked whether he is still ready to do the job. On other hand, if tender sum is corrected to calculated lower value, means ultimately contractor has to remain standard BOQ price calculation if sum is more and you have to reduce it. right? Mm. Because your rates are there. There's no dispute in that case. Hence, if your expenses are more, your calculated sum is more, you have to accept your price which you quoted, and also other way you have to reduce in that case. Similarly, all items are checked and corrections are made accordingly. Engineer can ask for breakup of whatever item. It is right of engineer to demand analysis of whatever item or all item and to check them, and corrections are made accordingly. Engineer can ask for breakup of whatever item. Engineer's owner has freedom to make whatever alteration, deletion, additions or changes in designs, and accordingly variations would be considered. In case engineer feels that an extra item is to be ordered and contractor's price for that item is more, he can request contractor to provide analysis or breakup of items and on receipt of same a reasonable rate can be fixed for extra item, but engineer should be reasonable. Contractor cannot refuse execution of extra item for he is bound by prevailing conditions in contract. In case order is given, for an item not included in whatever bill of quantities, any bill of quantities, engineer can ask for an analysis of that item based on current market rates. This type of contract is very practicable in carrying out works of very big size. As accommodation, this type of contract is very practicable in carrying out works of very big size as accommodates alterations and changes in designs. Payments on material procurement on site is also made easy as individual item rates are present. In case of rejections or condemnation, stoppage of reasonable payment is ordered. It is also easy for contractor to raise claims due to availability of all item rates. Works are not measured in details, but office work for preparation of contract document is really voluminous and extensive. This is something we're talking of is very important. Itemized lump sum. You'll find generally these days, if engineer is professional, understand profession, this type of contract, if contract say for 1 year or for 2 years or 3 years, for 5 years, do not go for item rate contract or go for this type of contract. Because of course you have to work a lot before bid, but during construction duration, burden on staff or personnel employed on project is reduced. Because what documents you have, see, you have design, of course, design is not yours, even though, but that is there, design scheme is there. Structural drawings are there, architectural drawings are there, services, electrical, mechanical, all services are there, firefighting, then then you can say building management, CCTV, or SCADA, or whatever else. All services are there in drawing form. There are schematic, of course, and you have specifications, project specifications, general specifications, and all details you have. You have complete schematic drawings, you have complete other details, and you are happy with that. The details are available, and I am also happy with that. It's available. But these details are not sufficient. You should know quantities of all items. If you know quantities of all items, either by working directly or by or through someone else, you must have these drawings. All drawings, working drawings contractor would do, but schematic drawings you have to do. Yeah, and you have to work out quantities of all structural, architectural, and services items, and of course anticipate preambles. This will take some time, indeed, but don't worry. You are submitting bill of quantities for purpose of guidance, not purpose of any claim in arbitration or somewhere else. That's what I'm saying. Arbitration, dispute resolution is very, very specialized work in this. Because these projects, lump sum based items, are very significant from professional viewpoint. Only those persons who can understand, those engineers who can understand all this, should involve themselves on such contracts. Because you cannot depend upon advocates or judges if there is, because they will not understand anything. Of course, they are arbitrators, something else, for their sake, their own might is right. You can't avoid that. But documentation is very important even from that viewpoint. Your BOQ must be complete and clear to avoid disputes, though it's not legal document, it is not evidentiary, it is just guide, yet your all other documents are evidentiary, remember. Your drawings, designs, specifications, and whatever claims to prosecute job. BOQ is not claiming, doesn't claim prosecution job, but specifications do, codes do, design drawing do, all. They claim to do job. And if you think that quantification BOQ is not correct, no problem. No problem. Demand correction. They may correct or they may leave it to you. Because clearly in this context given that, in FIDIC also given that, everywhere is given that, on this such type of contract, it's the responsibility of contractor to ensure correctness of quantities and also everything, whatever is missed or even not included on these documents, your responsibility is. Either you point it out, discover it, point it out, and raise clarification, question, or you do it yourself, you're able to do that. But once you agree on price, no way out, you have to accept that price. And this detail of VOQ is also required because if you want to delete something from contract, omit something from scope of work, or you want to add something. That's why detailed analysis of major items is a must. It shall be used only when there is dispute and additional items are added to contract. That's very important, significant. And what I was telling that if some of BOQ, actually it's not simple one BOQ, there are many BOQs of on such projects. Suppose there are 4 buildings or 5 buildings, let's say 5 buildings are there in combination, and the one landscape combined plot is the national services are there. So you will require BOQ 1, BOQ 2, BOQ 3, BOQ 4, BOQ 5, and all items in that, maybe 10 BOQs if required. And then external works required. And then maybe some specific items, some small building also may be required. Boundary wall is also external works is covered in. Means you have to quantify each and every item from drawings, and in each bill you have to enter. There will be hundreds of items in each bill. No problem. And something is left, no problem. And you have to raise questions before submitting a tender. Don't close it. And if you close it, means you are responsible even then. No one can help you come out of that, and no one can help you go in that. So what I'm saying is, it's too hard to work before publishing a tender. It's too hard. It's not easy. But it's not impossible, because yes, you can adjust prices. One, this price has come to you. Bidder has given you price. Yes, that's fine. That price is competitive, you may say. And there's no qualification in bid. Qualification, do you know what's qualification of bids? One is clear that this is document. All document are these. You have to submit your tender based on these documents without changing anything and no conditions. It's called unqualified bid. Unqualified bid. No conditions from yourself, your end. Over what is written in contract documents and tender documents, I'm sorry. What is written in tender documents, that's final. From viewpoint of this contract, this job, and everything is given you have to do per drawings, per specifications, and per reservations. No change, nothing, until we instruct you. That is called unqualified bid, free bid. Price remains same, and if your BOQ is wrong, your calculations are wrong, you have to take responsibility of that. If bid price is less and your calculation gives result more one, you have to reduce that to bid price, and you enter rates according to where on all BOQs you change rates. And then if you think your price should be more, what price you put in offer, it's wrong. It should be say more, 10%, 15%, or 5%. Then you have to reduce that price to lump sum you offered. No way out, no way out, no way out. You cannot escape, because you are offering bid. We are not offering bid, we are engineers. We cannot accept incorrect bids. So price is very important, and this is the reason that item rates are also demanded. In case of omission or in case of addition, we need some support, and that support is your item prices. If I say no, there is a deviation quantities more than required, or I say okay, take out this item and do the other item. In flooring you change specification. In some areas you change, in doors you change specification, or somewhere else. Whatever you do, item is available, that can be changed. There can be comparison of statements, and whatever included item and whatever should be included can be both different. That's what is very important. And I was talking about arbitration in this case. That's called dispute resolution mechanism. And particularly on projects of engineering, it's very complex issue, because it's not arbitration actually. Arbitration is name, but technicalities it is. You should say technical management should be rather than arbitration. Yes, it's a contractual world, it's a statutory world, because abuse is there. If this is a construction contract, big contract, what do you expect an advocate to do here? What do you expect a retired judge to do there? Nothing. This is not their world. There was acts and laws and all that. But this is construction. This is design. ABCD of this guy don't know. This big world, more than their world. Hundreds and thousands of activities are involved. They know nothing about that. How we work on site, they know nothing about that. We cannot do like advocates on site. We are handling with different classes of people. We are too busy all time. We cannot take care of everything. We cannot handle a letter every day. Contractual letters, non-contractual letters, memo letters, instruction letters. So many letters are there. So we cannot keep track of everything. So a broad sense of a contract must be understood. There was a case when I was in one company in Abu Dhabi. I used to work with tendering section and just to audit, go through, scrutinize what tender has come to us from main contractor or government, just to go through that. And I used to generally go through in a way I know, means our contracts are different. We cannot say this is structured English, this is Queen's English, or this is comma, this is semicolon, this is apostrophe. In this world of engineering and construction, this don't work. We cannot stick to comma. You didn't put comma here. So what if I didn't comma here? You think it changed meaning? No. This is professional meaning. We know what is work. That is engineer's job. We know how it is done. There's a technical method statement. There's execution statement. There are specifications, standards, conventions. You cannot stand at comma or semicolon or mark of explanation. You cannot stick to that. But who can teach this guy? I suggest to all my engineering colleagues. Before also I suggest, I was involved in arbitration case as consultant. I told my colleagues, do not go for advocates and for judges when appointing arbitrator. But these guys are Indian mind, Bharat mind, cannot learn very well. We are such people. We need lot of time to realize our mistakes. We cannot do that. Oh no, judge has to do it because who shall see who was person as arbitrator? What is arbitrator? What is arbitrator? A person who understands that profession. That's arbitrator. If an engineer understands that profession, he can arbitrate. After all, decide what's given, what not be given to him. That's all. If I can decide on site as an engineer, what payment is due to you, why cannot I decide in dispute resolution? What's the problem with that? Law is set aside law. I don't need that law. I don't need this course and all this civil procedure code and that procedure code. I have to decide what work has been done, what payment has been made. This is main criteria. Contrary is raising a point, that point can be correct also. Engineer can be wrong also. Why not? Is engineer God or that contractor bad? He demands payment for work. We have to see this is genuine or not genuine. There should be no undue advantage or disadvantage to someone. As an engineer, I should be independent because, of course, I am paid by employer. It doesn't mean I am slave to employer. This another person is contractor. That person knows job. That person is expert of job. That's why he's there. If that person is not treated properly, I cannot take that person as my slave. I cannot consider that because that person does for me. That person does a job which I cannot do myself. Management of job, arrangement of job, arrangement of resources, arrangement of everything, and mobilization, demobilization, and continuation is not easy. He's taking risk of financing, he's taking risk of working, he's taking risk of warranties, he's taking risk of everything, but I'm taking risk of designs. That's it. But that person is equal to me. No difference. But that person is not sitting and getting money. If that person doesn't work, I cannot work. My design got no value if this is not converted, it's not transformed to practical, to physical being. And this is person contractor. So we should think a different way. We have to change our mind. We have to stick to our mind that you are living in the world of FIDIC. They respect engineers. See, FIDIC, what's written for engineers? What is written for our contractors? You cannot be head contractor. No. He has worked for certain project, is demanding money. What's wrong with that? If there's a dispute, we'll solve it. But why a judge should be there? Why an advocate should be there? They do not know anything about me. They will just think of law. They will not think of work. We cannot cause injustice something. In our country, there's too much injustice. Then, first of all, in my country, Bharat, India, writing is very difficult. You cannot write in every decision. People, oh, I'm talking on phone. You do it for me. It has become our world now. People are not interested in writing and signing. They want to know, oh, believe my word. Believe your word. It's my money. If you don't know what to do. In court, if you go to court, I think only Yamraj cannot save you. So, advice to engineers, please please write in your contract itself, when you insert embedment of arbitration contract, I am calling it arbitration contract because arbitration clause is not an integrated part of contract, but it is a part embedded within contract itself. Dispute resolution mechanism, arbitration clause is not an integrated part of your contract, but it's a part of contract as a separate contract, or you can take it separately. Clearly write what should be qualification, educational and experience of arbitrators. Best way is that, so that undue time is avoided. I have seen these advocates and these so-called retired judges, they don't value time. They're just busy in their own, sitting in room and controlling everything from there. No value of groundwork, no value of procedures, no value of how work is done in field. They don't even imagine that there is thunderstorm, there is sun, there is dust storm, how people are working. They have no food sometimes. There means they don't take that into consideration. For them, what is ideal? Give me evidence, prove it. What evidence? Work has been done. You wrote to him or no? He answered to you no. On site, it is not done like that. We have to take immediate decisions. You take 10 years in judgment, we do not take 10 years in our work. We decide too quickly because we are professionals, we apply minds. If we don't do that, we cannot deliver projects in 50 years. You may take one small case and take 50 years. We take buildings, roads, bridges. They are time-bound projects. It's economical impact. If you don't do that, you are making money dead. You have to deliver in time of this imposition of penalty, imposition of liquidated damages. These points, who shall teach them? You cannot teach them. They will say, oh, advocate will talk to me. Don't talk to me. What advocate will talk to you? Is advocate expert of engineering? Are you expert of engineering? You don't know ABCD of engineering. You are saying, why should we appoint that person arbitrator? Okay, for consultation, we can take someone. But as an engineer, you get yourself into arbitration if required. This is engineering, this is construction, there's millions and crores of jobs there. Activities are different, judiciary is different. I am not here for diverse case. I'm not here for something else. It's engineering construction, a big deal. You cannot write like they write every day 50 letters. You are dealing with contractors, labor. You are dealing with someone else. Can you give everything writing is possible? Tell me you wrote to him or not. What else to give to me? How is possible? So we move so fast on construction. Everything cannot be writing except contractual issues. And that cannot be hour to hour basis. No, it's not possible. It's only talks like that. They can talk in this country only, not elsewhere. So I told on that bid, why is there this question? There should be comma, there should be semicolon, there should be comma. This is contract, this is bid. You are a lawyer, okay, fine, keep your law in your mind. We have to understand essence behind contract. We have to understand what this paragraph says, what this clause says, what this article says, what is essence. That's important, not punctuation of English. So my senior was fed up with asking, if I talk like this, if I do like this, they will say, okay, we don't want your tender, go, don't submit your tender. We are keeping for everything an advocate with us. It's not possible. So do not involve law luminaries when you are drafting your contract or tender, and do not involve past judges or senior advocates in arbitration. They know their shop it is, I know. For every retired judge, for our senior advocates, arbitration is a shop, a money-making exercise. They want money for everything. In one sitting, they just 2 lakhs and 3 lakhs of these judges. Question is not that. Question is, this is not your field. Construction field doesn't pertain to you. Why you enter into a field which you don't know anything about that? Hundreds of activities, hundreds of problems, hundreds of material procurement and contract clauses which you do not understand. If you do not understand, why you want to jump into that? Means you are encroaching your profession. Leave it to engineers. They will decide themselves. They know very well what contract is. It just requires 2-3 months to understand arbitration, nothing else. 2-3 laws are there. Read them. You get for all side positions, all contract positions, everything. Read contract positions. Read FIDIC in a very simple language. They are going to read that. But no, they won't. I don't know why. Why are you hesitant? Why don't you have good communication skill writing? You speaking is not very much. I don't want legal arguments. What for? Give me in writing. If I am arbiter, I'll simply sit to both parties. Question. This is question. Answer me. Finish. Why should I sit together with you? No need. I can decide sitting here itself. Act like a coordinator. Decide yourself. This was required. You did or no, you don't. Ask questions. 10 questions, 15 questions, and decide. What's the problem with that? Engineer does his way. Contractor does his way. Both ways are different, but goal is same. Without contractor, engineer cannot move. Without engineer, contractor cannot move. Yes, there are some lapses. That's it. Those lapses must be corrected, and that's it. Why unnecessary we make problems with this? Oh, arbitrator is a judge. I really hate this. Don't prolong something which is not required. Our contracts are clear. This is lump sum contract. We have to pay this sum to this party. If this work is done, this is all required. This is specification, this is drawing, this is condition, this is time, this is the quality conditions. And if there's some left, right to finish, do it. Why don't we give grant time extension? Here nobody decides. No one decides in this country. One time I had a chance to visit something. As third party, I was there. I went with some engineer with me. I was surprised on the site from quality, not from quality point of view, from management point of view. Project's expiry is there, means time of completion is over. 500 crores project, time of completion was over. They're just working. Verbal commitment. You finish by this date, we will. What is this? Contract time is over. You are not granted extension of time, and they are moving. Neither contract is serious, nor project is serious. Notice, I had one question in beginning the meeting. I asked this contractor guy, what date are you going to deliver this project? He said, I don't know. I was really surprised. Why don't you know? You are contractor. Which date you want to close this? Tell me. I don't know. Oh, who knows then? He said, my date is already over. His date is already over. So what are you doing here now? There was an understanding. Okay, if by next April you do this, no problem. We'll grant an extension. What sort of management is this? That I had applied for extension. They did not respond even. Months before that person applied, this is the reason, extend this. Why don't you answer? You have to respond. If you cannot respond, and then you are going to arbitration for what? Of course, that guy has right to go to arbitration. That person should certainly go. But what response you have there? Zero? We did not reply. Why? Your government, your project engineer, your department, why are you fearful to respond? Either grant it, finished. You know what you do? I know. When this guy completes project, he will grant extension backdate or will say the project was finished 6 months back. This you are going to do this. This is a crime. This is a fake statement, false consideration. You can be in prison for 3 years. But no, you are IAS. And the project engineer cannot speak because he's not IAS. What I do, I told your project engineer is authority. He doesn't understand. No, I have no authority. So there's a committee in the department, committee decides everything. Why you call me here? I don't understand. What's my purpose? I am surprised that contractor says, I don't know when to deliver. And you are not granting extension to this person. So there is no project actually. We are sitting on something illegal. Illegal food it is. This happens. So what to do? They are opening doors to arbitration. And the arbitration are judges and advocates who will spoil everything. You worked for 1 year or 2 year, 3 year on project, but will take 30 years they will decide because they don't understand. This is engineering construction. They don't know anything about this. They will simply ask undue questions, useless questions. Why did you didn't respond to this telex? Why did you respond to this email? Why did you answer this? What answer this? Imagine problem. What's this? You're standing on site. You're not standing in a court. This arbitration doesn't in court. They are here because they don't want to go to court. This is only, that's why foreigners don't want to come here. There's only reason. They know there's no one, no management. They want useless topics. So what I said, lump sum itemized contract is completely different. It applies only when you are serious. If you are not serious as engineer, as contractor, you cannot do project simple. It's so simple. For big projects, for mega projects, which cost 400, 500, 300 crores of rupees, it's not joke. All sections are involved and there can be lapse on any section. There can be delay everywhere. And your engineer who's dealing on site on government behalf or engineer behalf or contractor's behalf should understand all. Unfortunately, I have experienced they even don't understand specifications. They do not understand safety and quality, but they are on sites working day and night, having good helmet, yellow vest, good dressing, moving once or twice full site and job is on. Defects are there, nobody even points out. Cracks are there, nobody tells you. Assistant engineer, executive are there on site. They are just roaming here and there, talking on mobiles. Nobody knows what defects are these. People are rectifying defects themselves without telling someone. This is state of affairs on construction. And this is not on it's on all projects. Unfortunately, I've seen same thing in metro, in cast in situ concrete. Go and see that. I'm not talking of pre-stressed concrete. I'm talking of cast in situ. Because problems are always in cast in situ, not on pre-cast or pre-stress. That's all yard work. Machine work is there. Pressing is there. Cast in situ is a big issue. Hundreds of defects are caused there. And failures too there only, nowhere else. So we have to, though I'm talking about management and contract in this case, but everything imports, all defects come in because of that. Keep safety apart, if quality is important. Disputes happen because of quality. You say my concrete is good, I say it is bad. Either break it and do it in that solution, or there's an arbitration. What arbitrator will do that? Arbitrator test it. So engineer has to auto test it. Problem is other issues, contract violation or failing to operate whatever clauses are there. People fail to operate clauses. They fail to operate because they do not rate. And moreover, they generate the wrong clauses. My suggestion is therefore, write whoever engineer is there, who is drawing contract, who is designing contract, should include in part of arbitration qualifications of arbitrator. That's very important. You can write engineer is there, must be there with this much experience. 15 years there must be, no, but engineer must be there. Civil engineer, if it's mechanical project, mechanical engineer. Don't leave it blank, so that judge is also bound. Supreme Court cannot then violate that. Even if you go to some institution for appointment of arbitrator, they are bound by that. Okay, I want this qualification, finish. I don't want just something, I want engineer here. If there are three, I want all three engineers, finished. What's wrong with that? Why should we not come in picture? Why should these relevant people should come to picture? They know nothing and they're jumping on us. They're sitting on our heads. We are standing as if we are slaves. We are their criminals. This is really, means you write to them unnecessary answers they give, unnecessary responses. It means we are not working. We are just documenting for nothing. No relation to our responses, and they are giving responses. And contractors sometimes abuse and sometimes engineers abuse. Engineers say, no, what I have done is right. I was arguing with the project manager, no, you have to pay for the site. No, I cannot pay for the site. This is synchro tech and this and this and that. There are two letters. One is one award letter, and then there is a contract. There's some problem in that award letter. No, I renewed this. I did. Award letter is final, mine, no contract. What to say to these people who don't want to understand? It's because it was coming on the head, so no, I'm right. It is synchro set, it is this and that. You explain to me how it's not. So I said, I'm not here to explain to you. My duty is not to explain to you. For me, you are also I'm independent. I'm not under you. I am third party, so I am not responsible to you. I am not responsible to contractor also. I am third party. I'm independent. You do whatever you want. It's up to you. You will face in arbitration. This contract goes there. I will not face. You have to respond there. If arbitrator understands, and that's I doubt. These are design contracts. This is not life insurance contract. This is not medical health contract. This is contract of items. Hundreds of items. You must understand items. If you can't understand item, what you do? You cannot do anything. So do not waste your time and money on these law luminaries. They are headache for nothing. I am openly saying. I had a dispute on Supreme Court past judge, Ramaswamy. He was asked something and I scolded him. Okay, shut up. I did this. Don't ask me this. This is not court. This is arbitration. This is contract management. This is not your court. Don't talk. I'm not in your court. So these people didn't like me then. Don't like me. What's the problem with that? I'm talking with capability. I'm talking with professional management. You are professional law. Sit down in the court and talk. Why you are coming to arbitration? What's so? Because you have to make money. For every city you are charging. Law doesn't say that. Law doesn't demand any advocate or any past judge for arbitration, conduct or processing. No, they never say that. Why you are coming here? Because of money you are coming here. You are not coming here for profession. You are used to getting money. In one day you are getting 2 lakh, 3 lakh. What else you want? I'm not getting that. So why do you worry about these people? We are qualified people. We are not their servants. We are not their slaves. Okay, you are judge. Okay, go ahead and sit your court. Why you asking me? When I am your culprit, I'll come. Call me then. This is problem with engineering community. They are not engineers, in fact. In contract world, they are not engineers. In the arbitration world, they are not engineers. They are engineers only in software designs. Only there. They are not engineers even on sites, unfortunately. On sites also, I can't call them engineers because no quality, no safety. How you are engineers? I have not seen method. I asked someone, where's your method statement? And nobody has. What you are doing? I asked, there was some, in that project I asked, you are doing grouting of this precast, pre-stress tendons. Show me method statements. Okay, show me my manufacturer's statement. He had neither manufacturer's statement nor method statement, and they were using set cement. What to do these people? This no kind of project manager is sitting in office. Busy on office work? Oh, yes, your job is office work. But what is your assistant doing on site? It's why do you deploy people when they are useless? Leader should be leader. He should know what is happening on site. If you cannot see your duty time, go in evening or come early morning and go there. It's your duty. If your assistants are not working, this is your responsibility. So my assistant is related to that one. He is an official engineer from past. He worked in government, and this contract is mixed with them. Contract is mixed. This you're not problem. Why you're worried about that? You check his job. Oh, I have given to this contract this answer. I have told him this is not listening to me. So what do you say in that case? Excuse is answer, you think? This is what I say. Engineer is not diplomatic. Sometimes diplomatic and sometimes hammer user. I have to use hammer also. I have to be tough also. Same time, I have to be polite. We should have all qualities. If you have to fight, you have to fight. If you have to kick, you have to kick. If you have to abuse, you have to abuse. No problem. Field is that. Can you use illiterate labor without being stuffed with them? Not possible. Donkeys are donkeys and monkeys are monkeys. So whenever some question was raised in my interview, I said, I'll fight with you also. If you keep me, don't keep me. Khalas. May I know how you deal on site? You fight with people? I'll fight first with you, not with people. I'll fight first with management, because management is always responsible. Never giving resources, never releasing anything. First fighting with you. And then I'll fight with people. And someone asks, can you fight with them? The job is fighting. You cannot move without fighting. Not possible. You have to fight at every level you have to fight. And you have to help also at every level. If I go with folded hand, I cannot work. So what to do? Field is like that. While you are standing 45 degrees, can you be polite? Who is standing? IAS officers standing? Judges are standing? Political leaders are standing? Who is standing there? No one. You are in rain, you are in thunderstorm, you are in sun, you are in cold, everywhere you are. And they are enjoying. And they are not even recognizing engineers. Only in this country, everywhere is recognized. In Gulf, even contractors engineers are valued. There was a time the value engineers have okay, site of contractors valued, everybody is valued. But our country is great. So my talk is not about that, but because lump sum contract was discussed and I was talking about that impacts of lump sum contract. So I talk this way. Then it is bills of quantity and percentage rate contract, which is different one than this contract. Tender has to quote a percentage below or above rates given in bill of quantities and cost expected. Actually, these rates of items are based on market rates of yester or past years, and contractors shall be paid on actual measurements of items executed. And this is a kind of work which generally is done in authorities, for example, Delhi Development Authorities or somewhere else was done on municipal for small works. Well, this is the type. So contractors shall be paid on actual measurements of items executed, carry out, and there's a scope to alter design variation of quantities to a limited extent, but chances of claims are rare, other than increase in cost of labor and material more than specified. If so, there's no guarantee that quantities included in bills shall be definitely carried out, but quantities are based on drawings in most cases. There's not much difference in carried out quantities and bill of quantity. In fact, public works departments and other similar bodies adopt schedule of rates of all items based on rates of particular year from time to time, and same remains in practice for many years. Tender has to calculate current rates of all items and find an average percentage to be applied to all rates, and percentage below, percentage above of schedule of rates is calculated and quoted in tender accordingly. Lowest value in rates higher than schedule and highest percentage in rates below schedule of rates are generally accepted. Engineer and contractor should see that all items have been carried out to avoid any dispute. and rate quoted is tolerably justified. So this is ordinary definition of bill of quantity and percentage contract. Then there's another cost plus percentage contract. This is not similar in any way. This contract provides payments of all costs of labor, materials, machinery, overheads, and a percentage of profit above all that. This type is very cumbersome process as maintenance of accounts for all items is too difficult and contractors shall not be efficient due to getting announced profit as actual cost goes up. Well, then there's a cost plus fee contract, which although not very practical, but to understand that contractors paid actual cost of labor, materials, and machines, but his overheads and profits are fixed. This fee is actually tendered in competition and may be negotiated between employer and contractor. Type is really useful to increase efficiency and tackle different difficult projects. Engineer and contractor can act jointly to produce best quality job and provide ways to adopt different methods to carry out works. So this contract, the contractor shall expect attractive fee in all cases. And there's a labor rate contract, which is generally done on many buildings to, and that is all materials, machines, and plants are supplied to contractor, and later is supposed to mobilize labor, supervise finish job in time to drawings and specifications of contract. Tender has to quote labor rates, including profits for all items in schedule of items. Contractor is paid based on actual measurements on site. There may or may not be binding for quantities to be carried out, but this type is good as far as materials and machines and payments are made in time to contractors. Contractor has to fix own rates for items for further payments to people engaged on overtime shall have to be made since 8 hours working may not be enough for finishing quantities. Generally, this type forms part of subcontracts with main contractors trusted to contractors, artisans for efficiency. And then there's a target contract, which is not, of course, very important for all. Let me read it. This is two lines. In this type of contract, cost is borne by employer and fee is paid to contractor for a target sum. And if target is increased, fee is reduced and vice versa. All documents, method of constructions and specifications must be clearly drawn up and no contingencies are acceptable. In case due to negligence of engineer and target cannot be met, it shall be unfair to deal with contractor. So anyway, it's not recommended for big jobs. Then construction by direct labor. Promoter or employer may carry out works by using direct labor, own machines, materials, engineering, and other staff who are in permanent employment, particularly for moderate sized jobs. And it's possible to augment manpower and machine at any time temporarily to meet demand to keep up program by hiring from outside sources. Method employing regular workforce helps employer retain skilled groups all times. For example, water works, sewage works, other public works always retain expert gangs with them. But for big jobs where competition always positions itself, its contractor staff highly efficient and qualitative to control properly and finish job in time. Employers' staff may not be that fast, proficient, and qualitative and not reliable for very big jobs. A contractor can fire his staff for 1% a day if found inefficient, while men in regular employment in government, public sector, local self-government bodies may not be so. This class of contract system is good for maintenance works only. Then subcontract means undertaking by a contractor as a subsidiary to main contractor to carry out part of main work of main contract with prior approval of engineer or a party appointed by term in specifications as a specialist firm or a given firm nominated subcontractor to be paid by main contractor. These are main types of contract, and then EPC contract, which are not mentioned here, is a very important one. EPC means generally, other definition I'll talk later on. This this EPC means engineering, procurement, and construction contract, which is done generally for very big projects. And it means you are responsible for design, Even for feed, means feed is prepared, budgetary budgetary provisions are there, feed there, feasible report is there, and then designs are there, and then you have to implement and execute and prosecute all that and deliver. It's a kind of total contract, you may say, total responsibility and technology included sometimes by company who awards this contract. You have to follow up that technology. That's called company. In fact, not this type of company. Means oil company, for example, who is having complete patent for some ADNOC is there, or you may say Aramco is there, or Baruch is there. All these are companies in contractual language, and they have their technological rights. They can award such type of contracts to companies. For example, Bechtel is there. So many companies are there. Total from France is there. American Bechtel is there. Then they have alliance with some design companies. This called EPC contract, which is a very complicated one and very big amount is involved. I'll talk this later on. I'm closing with this statement that we have to be very careful about our issues which we are not clear with. And contracting is not easy as we think. It's not that easy. It's very complicated, and engineers who are involved in contracts actually are too stressful because of many complications than those who are in designs. They have technical stresses. Here is technical as well as non-technical stresses. And with this, I close this. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy this. And thanks.